I'm good.
All right, gentlemen, we're good.
He's live.
Alright, good afternoon, good to see everybody again. I didn't realize it didn't, when you say December 6th, man, yeah, it's, time goes by. Shows you how fast time goes by, we didn't know it was 6:20 that fast. So we call the meeting to order. First item of business is to approve the minutes from the December 1st, 2022 MPO policy board.
So moved.
Motion, we have a second.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes. Item number 3. Is he the public comment? You didn't hear what I said, did you? I said, you the public comment?
I'm the peanut gallery.
Open public comments here for the draft FY 2024 to 2027 transportation improvement program. We don't have to vote on that, do we?
No.
All right. We have a motion to close that.
So moved.
Motion, have a second?
Second.
Motion, second, any? My brain just left me. All in favor? Motion passes. Item number 4, adopt resolution 2310 to approve the FY 2024-2027 transportation improvement program.
We've been working off the old transportation improvement program. This program is done every 4 years. This is a draft document. It's for 2024, 25, 26, 27. All short-range transportation projects are in this document, whether they're authorized or planned. Us as a MPO has to balance our projects that are in this document, and we have quite a few. The projects are balanced against future monies that we will receive, and the state projects are also in here. They have to balance their projects. This is part of their STIP, their statewide transportation improvement program. As I said, this is a draft. In previous years, we've had to amend a lot of things between the draft and the final, which the final will be in August. I know there's some transit projects that are going to have to go in to the DIP because they're not in from the local area. I don't expect any of our projects to be taken out or moved in. I think all of our projects are in there and they're good for the next 4 years. Now we can take and add projects to this document, which we do that by amendment of a resolution, whether the cost increases or decreases or we add new projects. So this is a living document, and actually we're amending this document just about every MPO meeting that we have. But as I said, this is a draft. It will be out for public comment from now until July the 8th. We just had public input right before this. We'll have another one at the next meeting in August. If we receive any comments, we'll bring your comments back to y'all at the MPO meeting in August.
So we have a motion to approve resolution 2310.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Item 5, open public comment period for draft 2024 Unified Planning Work Program, or the UPWP. Need a motion to open public comment.
So moved.
Need a second?
Move to close public comment.
We have a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor? Moving on. Item number 6, adopt resolution 2311 to approve the draft FY 2024 Unified Planning Work Program, or the UPW.
This is basically the budget for next fiscal year for the MPO. We do this every year. The match requirements from each agency has not changed. They haven't changed in the last 7 or 8 years. The document lays out tasks that we're required to be eligible for federal funding, not only for the operation of the MPO, but also projects and other federal ones. So we'll come back in August and do a final on this one.
All right, heard Dwayne's explanation. We have a motion to adopt resolution 2311.
So moved. Second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Resolution is adopted. Item number 7, resolution 2312 to amend the current transportation improvement program to add the following projects: roadway lighting rehabilitation on US 31 from Market Street to 0.5 miles north of Riverwalk, Marie.
This project's actually, as it explains, to light up the causeway going across the river. In the last transportation bill, there was a set aside funding category that came down to the state and the MPOs called carbon reduction funds. Them funds can only be used on certain projects, and it was kind of hard to find projects that we could use them on. So LED lights is eligible. So the $477,189 is actually 2 years of allocation. It's last year's and this year. That is going towards this project. City of Decatur will be responsible for all costs over that $477,189. And I know we got $837,140 total cost. That was the last. Yes, it's went up. It's a little bit over $1 million now. So hopefully it'll come in. Maybe a little less, it could be a little more, but the city will be responsible for that. Carbon reduction funds next year will get a little bit over 200,000. We'll have to see what kind of projects we can do with that 200,000. It's the scope's very limited on what you can do with that, but it does require 20% match. So.
Okay. Have a motion to adopt resolution 2312.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that one? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution 2312 is adopted. Item number 8, resolution 2313 to amend the current TIP program to add the following projects: intersection improvements at State Road 67 and Upper River Road. This is an ATRIP.
It is. This is a ATRIP project that Senator Orr and delegation helped City of Decatur get. The 20,000 for PE is basically state cost for PE. The design's being paid for and the right of way is being paid for by the City of Decatur. The construction is $1.5 million. Any funding that's over that $1.5 million be responsible by the city.
So moved.
You can make sure to pay. We got a motion. We have a second.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No. I voted no in the council meeting. I gotta vote no now.
Okay. Did you get that? That's
Yeah,
first no I've had in a while.
That's only the second one we've had since I've been here.
No more money for you.
Did we vote? Yeah, we voted no.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Y'all are all gonna appreciate my no when you're sitting at that light on 67.
Okay, motion still carries.
We can use that 200,000 carbon reduction next year towards the LED traffic signal.
Yeah.
What about solar? Resolution 2313 carries. Item number 9, adopt resolution 2314 to amend the current TIP program to add the following project: advanced corridor management, TSMO, I don't know what that means, on I-65 from State Road 67 to State Road 3, US 31.
This is actually an ITS project that the state's doing on Interstate 65. TSMO, they're looking at the preliminary engineering to do some ITS signs like you see on the interstates around the state.
Okay. You heard Dwayne's explanation. Do we have a motion to approve resolution 2314? Resolution 2314. Motion, have a second.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10, adopt resolution 2315 to amend the current transportation improvement program to add funding to the following project. Reconstruction of County Road 684 at Church Street from Somerville Road to Riverview Avenue in the city of Decatur.
This project's actually, of course, it's been going on for a while. The 2.3 million is gonna be pretty close to where it come in. It bid at 1.7, but you add the other fees in, and it's pretty close to the 2.3 million. That's the documentation I've got. I think we're gonna check on that to see if it's just a little bit less, but it won't be much less than the 2.3 million.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 11, adopt resolution 2316 to amend the current TIP program to add funding to the following project. Intersection improvements at State Road 36 and Lando Kane Road in the city of Hartsville.
And this this project, the PE went up. I think there was a little bit of additional work that needed to be done for the utilities on this project, so it went up, the estimates went up a little bit, so $38,800 MPO funds and $9,700 to the city for a total of $200,000.
Have a motion to approve resolution 2316.
So move.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution carries. Item number 12, adopt resolution 2317 to amend the current TIP program to add the following project. Sidewalks along East Upper River Road and North Bethel Road in the city of Priceville. I think that's a TAP grant.
It is, that's a TAP grant, city of Priceville paying a match on that, and I think Garver's doing the engineering on that project, so it should be on the way before long.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve resolution 2317?
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 13, adopt resolution 2318 to amend the current transportation improvement program to add the following project: intersection improvements at State Road 24 and South Greenway Drive, including left turn lanes. That's an A-trip project too.
This is also a trip project that Senator Orr and the delegation helped the county community receive. There's $20,000 in there for state funds for ALDOT's part of it. And then it's $1.2 million for the project, and all costs over that would be responsible by the town and community.
For Dwayne's explanation, do I have a motion to adopt resolution 2318?
So moved.
Second.
The motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution carries. Item number 14, adopt resolution 2319 to amend the current TIP to add the following project: bridge replacement on State Road 20 over North Fork Southern Railroad.
This project, actually, I talked to Judd right after I got the documentation for it, because I was, number one is trying to figure out the time frame. This bridge is over on 20 by the railroad, where the railroad crosses the river. That bridge has got to be replaced. So the 500,000 is scheduled for 2023. That's this year, and they'll go in and do the preliminary engineering and try to figure out what the best way to do it is without interrupting traffic as much as they can. So, but the construction's not scheduled to 2027. But it's both bridges, right?
Yes, yeah, just right there in the 5-lane section goes over the railroad.
So as you know, there's a lot of traffic in that area, so it's going to be a lot of discussion about it in future years, but it's got to be replaced. It's got to be replaced. So,
Yeah, it was on our list, a periodic bridge replacement list, and it popped up.
You've heard the explanation. Do we have a motion to adopt resolution 2319?
So moved.
The motion, we have a second.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Resolution 2319 carries. Item number 15. Adopt resolution 2320 to amend the current tip to add the following project. Railroad crossing improvements, including 2 gates, signs, markings, and legends at College Street and CSX Railroad. That's in Hartford.
Yeah, this includes all the gates, bells, whistles, all of it. It's $150,000 and, it's not in the documentation, but I think the city will probably have a 5 or 10% match on that, so it'll be somewhere around $15,000.
So moved.
Motion, we have a second?
Second.
All right. Motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? So resolution 2320 carries. Item number 16, adopt resolution 2321 to amend the current tip to add the following project. Railroad crossing improvement, signs, markings, and legends at Cedar Lake Road Southeast and CSX Railroad.
This is the same thing, but it does not include the gates. It's just basically doing some markings on that roadway. And it could also have a 5 or 10% match, which is minimal, $10,000.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor of adopting resolution 2321? Any opposed? Resolution carries. Item number 17, adopt resolution 2322 to amend the current tip to add funding on the following project, intersection improvements on Vaughn Bridge Road at US 31 in Hartford.
This project's actually increased. There was some utility relocation that needs to be done. And that was the most part of this $700,000 overrun. But also supplies, everything's going up. So we expect a lot of all these projects are going to go up. But we do have this budgeted. We haven't added any projects as I met with the executive committee and kind of told them we needed to wait a year or two before we add any projects to make sure all these overruns, we had enough money to do these overruns. We don't want to spread ourselves thin. We're putting a bunch of projects in there and us not being able to fund them because then you have to start moving them out. And you don't want to do that. Well, we know that some of these projects, we've got a few more in the works and we know it's going to run over. So we've got money in there to cover that. And we only get a certain amount of allocation each year. So some of them will move to 24, but we got to make sure we have enough money in there to fund it. But this money's accounted for.
You heard Dwayne's explanation. Do we have a motion to adopt resolution 2322?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of adopting this resolution? Any opposed? Resolution 2322 carries. Next item is new business.
Same sheet as the same.
Mr. Curtis, would you like to give us any updates on the Aldog information?
I guess the biggest project around that draws a lot of attention is the bridge over Tennessee River. We just recently had another plan review on that project. And we'll be trying to establish a time frame and a traffic control plan to minimize the impact of that project. Now, we're pretty sure that we have the appropriate plan work done. We plan on also having a public relations campaign to go along with that once we decide how long it's going to be and what the routes are going to be. We'll try to coordinate that as close as we can.
Will you share the routes when it's finalized?
Well, again, we're just looking at the traffic control plan.
Yeah, when
And
that's
once we come
final.
up with it, we'll definitely put it out.
Yeah.
That's what the public relations is going to do.
Will the city have any input on that?
We invite your input.
Yeah, I mean, that's gonna be, we've discussed it, but it's gonna be a major impact on Decatur and others too. But,
We hope to minimize that.
and when is it letting for, when is the project?
It'll be let into the year, at the end of the year.
There were some questions about, and you may not be able to answer. And I trust you won't if you can't. any chance of being able to work it from the water?
Well, again, a lot of the work can be done from underneath the bridge. Once they establish their framework underneath, a lot of it can be done, cage work. There will be some that probably done from the ground on the relief bridges. But we don't dictate how the contractor does the work, we look for the outcome. So there may be a chance that a contractor comes in and gets the project, says, hey, I've got a better idea of a way of doing it. And that might involve something from the water, but we don't know that at this time.
Is there gonna be any incentive money for the contractor like Malfunction Junction to
We have not got,
expedite the process?
talked about it, but we have not got to that point to make that decision yet.
Would it help us to discuss that with Mr. Cooper?
No, not at this time. Once we come up with the traffic control plan, to see how it's gonna impact everybody, and then we can assign some value to incentive.
What about round the clock type
We're
construction?
not talking about night work, but again, that's difficult on the bridge structure, but we haven't ruled that out. We're looking at everything we can to minimize impacts.
And the length of construction or tying up the lanes?
I hesitate to say you got me last time. I say, all seriousness, we're still trying to analyze that to come up with a good date that I can give. We want to minimize it as much as we possibly can.
But you think you know the scope of work?
We know what's got to be done on the structures, it's just how do you go about getting it done?
So you don't know the duration, those, sounds right.
Right now, we have not set the duration.
So the date would probably be spring of next year, 2020,
For,
the work to be done.
if we let it at the end of the year, it'll be kicked off after the first of the year, spring weather.
My wife would be happy, she's retired in December. She was dreading that.
Your residents won't be.
Curtis, you're looking
But I don't
at,
have to live with all of that.
I mean, just to get expectations managed, you're looking at, could change, could have
Yes, sir.
changed. And I know that's going to say, are we doing round the clock or not? But
Yes, sir.
our prior conversation, you were looking at a year plus. Is that still a fair?
I would still throw that out there as a year to 18 months is what I told you
Yeah.
before. We'd like to decrease that. And I'm going by another project we just let and completed over in Stevenson over Tennessee River. We completely rehabbed the structure, which is a metal structure, a truss structure, top, bottom, everything. And we did that we came in early on that project. And we hope we have that same contractor interested in putting in a bid on this one. So, and I don't mean to sound like we're indecisive. We're just trying to make sure we've got everything covered before we actually put that out there. Because once it's out there, then everybody says, well, that's not what you said. We want to be definitive on what we're going to do.
It'll be chaos when it goes public regardless.
Yeah. Well, again, we're trying to minimize the impacts to the upper structure. Most of the work that needs to be done is underneath on girders, bearing pads, stiffeners, paint. So we hope to minimize what's on top. And once he gets his cage and all established underneath that he can work off of, a platform he can work off of, there'll be work going on. People want to know they're under there. More than likely. That's what happened in Stevenson. They were on that bridge like ants. I mean, but underneath it, you couldn't see all the work being done.
Shifting gears, getting 565 north of the airport, what's your timetable?
We're still shooting to have it let September. Is that right, Ron? Yes. We've had plan reviews and everything seems to be coming in play for that.
Timetable for finishing it? Guesstimate?
It's probably 18 to 2 years. But again, that hasn't been assigned. A lot of that work is in the middle.
Yeah.
Comparative to the one we finished.
What are the traffic counts through that bottleneck right there now. 60.
You're 50-something thousand, I believe. It gets up to 60 along the route, but right there about 50-something thousand.
50 something there, it gets us a little bit over 60 before we get to the interstate.
You also have the town Madison interchange being constructed right now, just further to the east.
When's that going? That's gonna be a while.
Well,
Here,
it's probably another year. But they're coming up with the walls and they've come up with the piers and the caps. They're having work done on manufacturing the girders. So the hard part's coming out of the ground and they've done a good job on getting that done. Still got to get it in the median, which is going to impact traffic for another pier. Anything else you can think of on our state routes that they'd like to know?
Oh, so we got the 31 bridge placement in Tanner project. And that one's about 60% so complete. Work on environmental document on that one. There's the I-65 bridges at Lakon job. It's early in the planning process. It's sitting out in 2025 for that one.
Those are the bridges down at the bottom of the mountain at the S curve.
Yeah.
That we continually have problems with and have to shut down.
you gonna straighten them out or do anything or just replace?
We're gonna slightly straighten alignment out.
We widen, they'll actually be wide enough for 3 lanes in each direction, but, just right back to 2 until that ever actually happened. But that width, the traffic control would keep 2 lanes, at all times.
I think that's
What,
27.
25. And we've also got Dwayne mentioned the I-65 Tismo and the ITS project from Priceville interchange up to the northernmost Athens interchange. Went through there to set up, connect with message boards and such. They're about to start that on 565, going on into Huntsville. And this will just sort of pick up after that one leaves off. We've got some smaller, just coming up soon, resurfacing projects that are about to start. State Route 36, just west of Hartselle. Contractor's gonna be starting the end of this month. And then we've also got resurfacing State Route 67 down near the Morgan County line. That project just let last week, so it's a few months towards the end of summer, fall, we'll start working on that resurfacing project.
And then lastly, we have the Huntsville Browns Ferry Road interchange up at the new Bucky's location. I guess is the best way to identify it. We've got that bridge work completed over the interstate and making good progress on the connection to move traffic over, and then we'll upgrade the other side. So you're probably looking at about another year's work on completing that project.
Anybody else? I'd like to thank you. Dwayne, you got anything?
Got a couple of things. We'll have another meeting probably in August to come back and do the final of these documents. But after that, since it's come out with the urbanized areas, we're gonna have to go in and what they call smooth the lines, which is a requirement from Federal Highway Administration. We'll go in and do that and bring that back to you at the next meeting after August. We met with Huntsville MPO a couple of weeks ago to make sure we're all on the same page as far as north of the river, to where we don't overlap one another with our planning areas, and we're good on that. The other thing is the bridge study, Tennessee River Bridge study is still ongoing. Looks like we're on schedule to have our next public meeting sometime in August. I'll be around August 17th. I know a lot of y'all involved in the stakeholders meetings. We'll have them before that to update y'all on where we're at with that. But just kind of be looking for that in August. The study's going real good. Consultants are doing a good job. There's a lot of things going on in this study that's condensed in a very short time frame. But they're doing a real good job. Got a good team involved in that study.
Else have anything they'd like to bring to the table?
I just want to throw one thing out there. It doesn't have anything to do with MPO, but the event center ribbon cutting is tonight at 6 o'clock. All of you are invited. So if you didn't get an invitation in the mail, I'm giving it to you now personally. So come on out at 6 o'clock and we're gonna get this thing started. So if y'all want to come out there and take a look at it, it's up and ready to go.
Get some good food.
There's cake and nuts and snacks and drinks and so.
Speaking like a politician, sir.
I'm just speaking.
And I promise my speech will be very short and sweet.
Anybody else have anything? A motion to adjourn?
Big Melvin's not there.
That's right.
We stand adjourned.